As those of you who see my last video will know that I have a sensor problem. In my case it's the cam sensor, and it's throwing out occasional problems with both starting and the occasional engine management light, both of which result in the cam sensor fault being thrown up. Sensors on these are quite notorious, mainly for being heat sensitive. They break down with the heat, so quite often the symptoms are when the engine's warm. However, fortunately it's a fairly straightforward process to diagnose. First of all, where are the sensors? This is an M series engine. This is the M13. Two types of engine are fitted to the Gen 3 Jimny. That's the M13 and the G13, the G13 one being earlier. You could tell this is an M by the plastic cover like here and the metal cover over the cam chain in these. Okay, if you've got a plastic cover here, then you have got a G13 engine. If you've got a G13 engine, then you've only typically got a cam sensor. The reason why I say typically is that there are some variations around, but the G13 typically comes with a cam sensor, and it is right here at the back of the engine. So when you come to change that, you've got to be quite a contortionist. Okay, this is an M13, so I'm fortunate that the cam sensor is right here at the front. The difficult one to find is the crank sensor. First of all, G13s don't tend to have crank sensors. Okay, so you're lucky if you have got one of those, and it's you don't have to replace it because it is hidden right down under here behind the alternator in the bottom of the block. Okay, as you can see, hopefully from my little camera view here, it's well hidden, and if one of those goes, you've got problems. How to diagnose them? They don't always throw up the mill like mine has done. Sometimes they're just anonymous. There's no error message comes up at all. So what you do is you pour cold water on either the cam sensor here or the crank sensor there, or if you've got a G13, then the cam sensor's back here. Pour cold water on it, and if it's the heating problem, it'll go away temporarily and everything will start running normally. So, as I said, I've got a cam sensor problem. Just one other thing on the cam sensor: if you've got a G13, one right at the back here, quite a common fault is not the sensor, but is the oil seal for the cam sensor cover. They have a little cover plate on them here. The oil seal goes and leaks oil. So sometimes I get people saying, I've got oil leaking out the back of my engine down onto the clutch, or at least the transmission casing, and it can be this little oil seal on the back of the case that encompasses the cam sensor. So on to changing the cam sensor on this one. It's very straightforward. It's right at the front. It's right here. This is not the world's biggest task. So if you put the little screwdriver in just to force that tag there backwards, like so, and then just pull the connector off. It comes off like that, and then M10 nut on there, a bolt, like so, and then it's got a little rubber O-ring in there, or neoprene O-ring, so you need to put some effort into getting it out. I will admit to having loosened this one before I started. Here's the new one. Now, there are lots of different types of sensor listed for these engines, so make sure you get the one that's correct for your engine, okay, rather than just a generic one. It's actually worth paying a bit more to get exactly the correct one. So because of the little neoprene O-ring, these can be quite difficult to get all the way in. So wiggle it a bit until it goes in nicely. Obviously tighten up the nut. And replace the connector. So that was really simple to change the cam sensor on the M13, just a simple unbolt operation. Yes, if you've got a G13 with it at the back, or it's the crank sensor down below, then it's a bit more of a job, but hopefully that was a brief introduction as to what can be done. Hopefully it's cured my problem. Now I've got to run it up and get it hot and take it for a drive and see how it goes. If you have any sensor problems, then you can always contact me through the Big Jimny store to get the correct sensor. Got to be the right one. Also, don't go for those cheap sensors that don't come with the connectors. There are some sensors around, particularly the O2 sensors, which come without connectors on, and they're a waste of time because you're trying to plumb the wiring into the existing car wiring. You want one with a proper connector. Anyway, if you contact me, get your stuff through the Big Jimny store, it will be the right one. So thank you for watching, hope that was useful, and catch you on my next video.